They come from another time. A machine wrapped in flesh. A soldier from a distant war. Both after a woman who holds the key to the future. One wants to kill her. The other must protect her.
I'm here to help you. You've been targeted for termination.
The Terminator. Your future is in his hands. The Terminator. Rated R. The #1 movie in the USA is now playing everywhere.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. YouTube, can we just let our hair down for a second? Can we just be real today? Like, I'm having a week, man. I am having an absolute week. I try not to come on here when I'm in a bad mood. I really don't feel like I get super low, and I know this has nothing to do with the film that we're about to talk about, but it kind of does. So another really important friend of mine requested that I review his favorite movie, The Terminator, in 4K. And I was like, I'm gonna cleanse whatever's going on with me, the sadness and everything that kind of lingers, and I'm gonna talk about it, goddammit. So however you found me, totally cool. You can just be yourself for a minute. This is a perfect film, so I'm not gonna try to edit this too much. I'm just gonna talk over it and see what comes out, because I love this film. I love my buddy Donnie out there, and I've known him for fucking 25 years, it seems like. So let's talk about the Terminator and try to pick ourselves up for just a few minutes. Hang on. In 1984, James Cameron changed the cinematic landscape and expectations for sci-fi action films forever. And I don't care. I know how cheesy that sounds, and I don't really give a shit. He unleashed the Terminator on the masses, and nothing was ever the same. Is there anything better, though, for a little slice of nostalgia than that Orion Films logo in the title sequence when the sound comes on? It hits me right in the heartstrings, right where I needed it today, and it just jacked me up. I was like, this is really sad. Like, I'm missing my friends. I was like, this is fucking sad. I love this film. I love Orion. I love VHS. That title sequence with the sound, some of the best to ever do it. I love Orion Films. The feature film debut from one of the best to ever do it, also Mr. James Cameron. The rumor was that he wrote this mega hit while driving back and forth on the road in his mind, and finally got to make it in 1984. And I know that Piranha 2 was actually his feature film debut, but he was fired. So we're going to go ahead and say his opinion is Terminator 2. I think this film and series has been done to death, so I'm going to try to keep it relatively brief. So the plot, you already know what happens, right? What I'm interested in now is the little things, starting with how fucking amazing this sci-fi horror looks on 4K. Before we even get started and peer over the vastness of Los Angeles, we gotta talk about the soundtrack. The Terminator is beyond an action sci-fi horror epic. That soundtrack, next to maybe Alien, I think of the thundering, the synth, the drums to Terminator. That score gets into my bones, and I love it. The score is this pounding metal, thunderous, fucking perfect, man. Just the intro to this film, we are also given the gift of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bill Paxton in a turf war over some clothes. What this film gets right as well is the special effects. As much reverence as I have for Clive Barker's Hellraiser, you can clearly see the difference in utilizing something like lightning for effect. Everything in the Terminator is believable. Everything feels like it's the first time you're ever seeing things like this used and utilized correctly. The Terminator, it's a fucking vibe, man, and James Cameron understood how to capture time and tension with pinpoint accuracy. Arnold as the Terminator sent through time to murder Sarah Connor and talking firearms, laser sights, and .45 calibers in that studded jacket just makes me feel good. My history with Schwarzenegger films, it's something that I really appreciated as a young kid. My dad, he used to go on vacation to Japan, and he'd always bring back the highest tech technology, right? The highest tech technology. That makes no sense. I've been drinking. Give me a break. He would come back with like the new Zenith. He would have them ship back the Nintendo, and he would bring back VHSs and films. And he let me watch the Terminator, the Predator, and it just when I was like 9 or 10, it completely blew my mind. He's like, here's a couple of weights. If you ever get as big as Arnold, you know, you're not going to be able to beat your old man. And I thought that was something really important. It had a lasting impact on me as I would go on to expect perfection from films growing up because of films like The Terminator. Because of that exposure, you can't convince me that there's a better film than The Terminator. This is peak and perfect Schwarzenegger. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, I'm going to listen to argument for Terminator 2 Judgment Day, as it's also gospel, and it's a big part of every kid's, 80s kids especially, balanced breakfast. Listen to the cast in this fucking film. Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger, Lance Hendrickson, Michael Biehn, Linda Hamilton, Bill Paxton, Dick Miller. Dick Miller. Anytime Dick Miller's in a movie, you know it's going to be good, am I right? When I think of perfect films and what I think the future is fixing to look like, I always revert back to The Terminator. It's light years ahead of its time. The idea is, I don't know, man. It's a 10, as is the script, the action, the gore, the score, the effects, everything. Cameron just had this natural knack for shooting things in real time and kind of panning and zooming out to see the bigger picture. The Terminator is more than a genre. It set the tone for so many films to come after. There's this stalker, serial killer type of true crime, futuristic fear and feel to this flick that it just fucking hits the spot. No matter how many times I've seen it, imagine you have Sarah Connor running from something like the cyborg assassin that is the T-800. It's been programmed to do one thing. Nothing but destroy her and keep her from giving birth to one son, John Connor. The T-800 smashes and destroys everything in its fucking path without feeling or the slightest bit of emotion. Relentless, never satisfied, he just keeps fucking coming. Sawed-off shotguns, endless rounds of gunfire can't keep a good cyberkinetic organism down. A Cyberdyne Systems Model 101 is part man, part machine, hyper-alloy chest, microprocessor controlled, fully armored, very tough. Outside, it's human tissue, flesh, skin, hair, blood, growth for this. It's growing for the cyborgs. Hard to spot, sweat, bad breath. It looks human now. I love that fucking line. I love that monologue with Michael Biehn and Linda Hamilton where they're just kind of trying to describe why this T-800 is not going to stop. You need to get as far away from it as you can. This film is fucking perfect. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity. It doesn't have fear. It doesn't have remorse. It absolutely will not stop ever, not even once, until you are dead. If you need car chases, gunfights, heavy machinery spreading sparks of hope all over creation, you fucking got it. How about Arnold with no eyebrows stalking in a Plymouth Grand Fury? Boom. One of my favorite scenes from The Terminator happens when the T-800 finally gets a little downtime from his life to just kind of destroy, erase, and improve. And he takes this X-Acto knife to some minor injuries to his exoskeleton, and he kind of starts to like work with his mechanics, and they start to squeal, and he just unfurls his whole entire arm, and it's just like machinery. It's fucking incredible, man. I love that. I love the revealing when he's pulling his eyeball out and he just has this laser sight. Incredible, man. Incredible. I watched it tonight on 4K and I was blown away. Again, this is the 100th time I've seen the fucking Terminator and I'm still just like, God. Oh. I love it. I love everything about it. If I have to say anything negative about the effects in that one scene is it does have a little poltergeistiness to it with the makeup and the rubber aesthetic struggling to be a little bit believable, but still, without his injuries and his struggles, we wouldn't get the Terminator in the sunglasses. And so, because his eyes all fucked up, he takes them off, right, it focuses, and he puts them right back on, dude. Time to talk about the transfer for this release really quick. Whoever owns it, MGM, Warner Brothers, Orion, right? I'd love to think that Orion still owned it if they were still around, but whoever did, dude, this transfer right here is reference quality. This is something special. This is not what I expected from a James Cameron film because I've got The Abyss and I've got Aliens. I don't have True Lies and they're a little bit lacking. So the sound right out of the gate without adjusting anything is a 10. 10, probably a reference quality. On 12, I had to keep turning this thing, and I usually have it about 22, 23 if I'm watching a film. I have a really, really good true Dolby Atmos system, and it shakes my house, and I had to keep turning this fucker down. It sounded so good when it was just like the audios and people talking, like the monitors. It was like so full. All of the channels up front were just bumping. It was perfect. absolutely perfect. The effects and the motion, a lot of people have these smooth rates or they have vivid, right? And they have these things that they mess with. My TV, it's set perfectly. I always have, I don't know. I got my shit dialed in though. I can get a really good picture on pretty much anything. I didn't do any, I just let it play and it was a 10. The motion and the effects in this film and the quality and the clarity, I'm used to watching this on VHS and DVD. So this was a 10. You can see every bead of sweat, every little spark, every machine gun fire, every bullet, everything that came across the screen was just incredible. I mean, Arnold double fisting those semi-automatic weapons in the safest place where he's in the police station can't look better. But first he's got to have that iconic line, right, where he tells the receptionist and he's like about to ram through the station, "I'll be back." Perfect, dude. Cue the metal and the thunderous drums. I'm here to tell you right now, I 100% sign off on this 4K. I haven't watched anybody else that I follow or that I'm a fan of review this film because I didn't want to be biased. And I told my buddy Donnie, my brother, I was going to get it for him and review it. And Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, Dolby fucking everything, dude. 10s. I don't know what other people thought, but on my system, if nothing else, get this for the audio. Fucking flawless, iconic looking collector's edition. My only regret with this film is that I didn't pay and I didn't pre-order it earlier to get one of those really badass editions. I just have the nice little slipcase, but I'm sure all the transfers are probably the same. So in another life, in another place, I would have paid like 30 or 40, 50 bucks, whatever it was to get this thing. But this 4K, it doesn't come with the Blu-ray, it does come with the digital code. You can't see it because I'm going to watch it in my bedroom later again. It just blew me away, dude. I love the Terminator. I love this transfer. Can't believe it. Big fan of it. So that end scene with the exoskeleton when they're having that final, oh my God, and there's like that stop motion. I rewound that 3 times. No shit. It's cool, man. It's really cool. So this thing is armed. It's ready to impress you. Fucking soaring surround sound. Fucking assault of the senses with every... loved it.